Hey guys, so I wasn't actually going to make a video about this, but I just decided to because I feel like stuff like this is important to talk about, and I feel like, years down the line, I want to, kind of remember this day. So if you don't know already, I work as an assistant manager at Hollister at Northlake, and today was a very scary day for all of us. Today is Christmas Eve and we had a shooting at our mall. And I kind of wanted to share like what happened with me and like I feel like it's a way different situation, when you're a customer and something like this tragic happens in a public place, and then it's also like procedures you have to follow as a manager in a mall of like this happening and all these things, and my chest is like hurting because of like the anxiety I'm feeling right now by just thinking about everything that happened. I told a lot of people this story already, really good friends and family members who they heard what happened, and I kind of wanted to tell you all what I experienced and everything. That this is not going to be very casual of me talking about this. So pretty much it was Christmas Eve. I came in at the store at 10 a.m. And then I got off at 7 that night. And, it was very busy Christmas day. We kept having people at the register, people shopping and everything like that. And I remember that I had one person on a register. I was restarting the other register and I was on our third one. And I was ringing up one customer that I felt really bad because I kind of screwed up the transaction on one register. And then I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to reboot this computer. Let's go over here. I'll take care of you. Finished up his transaction, let him leave, and I took the next customer. She's like, hey, I'm like wanting a gift card today. I was like, okay, how much did you want on it? She said she wanted $20. So I typed in $20 and I was like swiping the card, putting it back in there, and I saw one of my associates run from the front of the room, like sprinting to the back. And I was like, who's chasing who? Why are my associates chasing people around? And then there were the two customers that I just rang up with their like polo shirt that I just rang up for them, and they were chasing after him. And I was like, is he stealing something? Like, why is this customer chasing my associate? And why is he running for his life? And then just a swarm of people come into my store and go into the back of the store, and they just don't know where to go. And I think I hear someone say that there's a shooting or something like that. And I don't even know what my first instinct was. My first instinct was just to look up and just to like walk around and see what was going on. And I went to the right of me, which is going to the opposite side of the store, and going to the right, and I just see people just flood into our last girls clearance room, and I'm like, oh my god. And so I go directly into our back stock room, which is an exit door. And by this point, I think that what happened is that I was so terrified that I couldn't even think straight on like what to do, because I was in the back like standing with a whole bunch of people, and they just stopped and just started looking around because they didn't know where to go. And it was an exit door, and someone says push the door, and I could have said this, or just told someone this, or just say there's an exit this way, go out this way and turn left and keep going. And my instinct was, I can't open the exit door. I don't have my keys with me to unlock it. And in a situation where this is happening, I shouldn't be thinking that, because it's emergency. And the reason that we unlock the door so the fire alarm doesn't go off. But, I'm thinking over here like, keys. Where are my keys? I need to unlock the door and to open it. And I was just like, it was just too much. And so everyone starts going out of the door, and I run by the manager desk and grab my stuff, which Hollister actually tells us to leave your personal items. And I totally understand, but I just grabbed my stuff. I saw my store manager do it, and she was leaving too. So I just grabbed my stuff real quick, and I was just like heading out. And so I start going down the hallway. I see my store manager go down with one of our other associates, and then I see my two associates behind me, and they turned around, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, do I wait here? And I was like, I should not wait here right now, even though I need to know what my associates are doing and why they're going back in the store. And so I just stood there for a second, waiting, looking. But then there was a whole bunch of other people waiting too. And I was like, they don't know which way to go because we always go out this door when we ever take out the trash. So then I kept telling people there's an exit this way, just keep going. Just keep going. There's an exit that way. And I had my phone on me and like literally my hand is like shaking like this. Because I didn't know what to do. I really didn't. I just knew that I had to get out into a safe place and then to find everyone else to make sure they were okay. But my concern was that two of my associates went back inside. So I waited outside for a little bit. I called my store manager. I texted her where I was. And then, because I don't know where she went, I saw her go into a store. And the people were trying to go in that door to the store. And I was like, there's an exit this way. Just keep going. And I was waiting for my associates. And they finally came out there. And then they came out and were just like, we locked down the store. And I was like, thank God, because we're technically like supposed to, yes, but in that time where we had 80 people like, you know, trying to get out, like there was just no way we would have been able to close the doors. Like even if I was there to lock it myself, like there'd be no way. And the two guys that went to go close the door, they're bigger, they're more muscular, and they would be able to take care of themselves. But I was still terrified that they went back in. And so I finally met up with them, and then we're standing by the dumpster, and I'm, you know, texting Emily, and I call one of my friends, and I'm telling him what just happened, and I just find them, and then I get off the phone and talk to him, and what would she do next? And then someone's like, they heard more shooting, or someone starts running, and it freaks out everyone else, and it freaks out me, and everyone starts just sprinting even more because they think that the shooter's coming out this way, and like people just weren't thinking about it logically because everyone's just in so much terror that even when you know logically what to do in a situation like that, when you're in so much like terror and fear, your brain can't process exactly what's going on. And that just kept happening to me, and it was like freaking terrifying because I knew what I had to do, but at the same time I couldn't do it. And so we ran and we finally stopped, and it was crazy. And I tried calling my district manager, and I couldn't even make phone calls out. Like there were so many people calling people like out right at that second that I don't think my phone could do it. I ended up calling Global Command Center, which I knew was the one thing that me as a manager had to call. I let them know the situation, what my store number was, and they told me to, you know, try to just make sure you get all the associates together and be safe. And I called my district manager, and I actually had to have one of my friends tell the district manager to call me because I couldn't make any calls out. I talked to him, he talked to me, then my semi-limited store manager called me, and I talked to her, and I was like, hey, I'll meet you right by your car. And so we met there, and then she said that she would call our regional manager of loss prevention and wait for an answer with that. And we were told to go home. And there were so many people, like, I think I am still iffy what happened. I know one person's dead, and the fact that, you know, this is, why would you do this on Christmas Eve? That is like my entire thing, is that my head is just like, my brain can't wrap around it still, because it's just not something that should be done in this world to do that. And, you know, everyone is just in such good moods around the holiday season, and I'm just scared, like, what I had to deal with today and how much I was shaken. And even though that I did everything I was supposed to right, I could have, like, you know, helped more other people get out quicker and faster and do things like that. But I mean, I still think personally I did a good job as being a manager and, you know, leading people the way and telling them which way to go and calling Global Command and my district manager and telling them what happened and all these things. And I mean, I know that my store manager went back in the store, fully locked down the store, grabbed my keys and whatever else was left in the store, and then left as well. So I'm still shaken up by the whole thing, because the thing that freaked me out the most was having 80 people run into my store at once, like it was a fucking hurricane, or like, you know, just a stampede of people running into my store, and they didn't know where they didn't know where they were going, and I assumed that they did because my head didn't click, like, you need to be the one to tell them where to go because they don't know, and it didn't click in my head, like, go this way, just open the door, then you're going to turn this way, and there's going to be an exit right there. In my head, that didn't click because I knew myself, and I'm like, okay, do this. And then it wasn't like, hey, tell other people as well. And you can't ever really be prepared for that situation. And just thinking about me standing at that register and just seeing that, like, first few people start running and then just the swarm of it, it's gonna terrify me for a little bit, I think. And I'm really not looking forward to going back to work because I can only imagine going back into work and things being like thrown everywhere because people hear what's happening and they throw it on the ground and run, and people got trampled over, and all these things. And now just my head hurts. I've been so tense all day, and it was Christmas Eve. Like, I really didn't want to sit and do all these things, but I mean, that was my experience with it. And now I just like want I just want someone like to protect me at least, because it's a little terrifying being by myself. And that's this stuff happens in this world because you always hear it everywhere. And I always thought, like, I just live in Charlotte. This couldn't happen because it's Charlotte. It's Christmas Eve. But any of this can honestly happen anywhere, of course. But we always think we're so, like, protected by it and everything like that. And Northlake is really a great mall, and I can only think that it's going to go downhill from here because of the people that go into that mall now and do these things. Like, no one's ever going to want to go back there now because they're probably terrified. And, I mean, I would be the same way as well. I don't know. Northlake is a really great mall, and I've never had any trouble with that mall at all, besides people making these decisions like this and deciding to terrify family. Like, I just can only imagine, like, families being there Christmas with baby carriages, just buying last minute gifts or whatever. Or there were teenagers, like, shopping for themselves because they probably just got Christmas money from grandma. And my best friend's grandma was there and she fell over twice. And my best friend's husband was there, and it's just like I've lived in this town for so long that it's like everyone goes to that mall because it's the best place to shop for, not so expensive gifts, like, not like the high-end stores or anything. And it's just like, this is where I grew up. Like, this is where I've been, like, on dates when I was in high school. And it's just a safe place for us, I feel like. And it just drives me nuts because I remember the other day I was concerned about a customer coming in and yelling at me about not getting her money on her card. And then this happens. And I'm just like, it's just too much. I really don't understand how anyone could do this on Christmas and just a public place where no one else deserves this. Like, yes, whatever happened with some sort of fight, whatever, that it had to be, it had to happen in public. Like, you couldn't really, like, be respectful and deal with it later kind of shit. Like, I don't understand. I really don't. I mean, I do have a lot of opinions about it, but I will be haunted by the image of so many people in terror for a very long time. And I am surprised that I kept it together and didn't stand there and cry like some other people that I saw. And I remember being terrified because I remember one of my associates wasn't even in the store, and I had no idea where the shooting was, where he was. And I'm just a worrywart because, like, I feel like my associates are something that I care about them so much. I care about every single person I work with so much. And just to know that one of them was not in the store and I didn't see them come out of that exit terrified me. And I called them and the cell phones were not working, but I was just terrified. Like, I knew he was a guy and he could take care of himself and he was probably fine. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know if they are. And for 90% of this entire time, I was by myself. I didn't have a best friend. I didn't have, like, a boyfriend, a husband, an associate, or anything to protect me. And I was just kind of by myself. And I'm just like, okay, Allie, what's your next move? What are you going to do? Are you going to go to your car? Are you going to leave? Are you going to wait for your associates? Who are you going to call? And I handled it very well, but I was so shaken. I really was, and so many other people were, and I don't know. I'm just rambling about the thing over and over, and I'm gonna go in circles with it over again. But I thought that you all would know that something that this is this big of a deal that I never thought I would experience happened to me, and I am safe. It's gonna take me a little bit to get back to normal, um, and I know that going back to work is gonna suck. Um, but I feel like it went. I handled it very well, just personally and mentally. It's been such a long day, and even though like my best friend was like, "Go home and take a shot," and I poured myself a glass of wine, and I did all these things, and I just felt relaxed, but I just couldn't like I couldn't focus on anything. And I don't think when people realize when they do this some like this damage to something in a public place, how many people they're affecting right now. Like this is an entire state that you're affecting. And even more than that, but you're affecting people in that state more than anything else. That literally, guys, you just ruined my entire Christmas. And even though it already sucks, like, you just ruined it even more for me, and I'm kind of scared to go to sleep in my own apartment right now, so thank you for that, because even the apartment I'm living in as well, I've had shootings right in front of my apartment, and I'm just, like, you know, a 5'2" girl who lives by herself, and there's only so much I can do to protect myself, because I don't live with my significant other who can protect me. I don't have a dog, and it's like, why would someone ever do that? Like, in a mall or at an apartment complex, like, be fucking adults and handle your own shit somewhere else and be adults and use your words and, you know, don't use any sort of violence to it, because that just shows how much of less of a man you are, that you can't use your own words. You actually have to be like, oh, hey, I'm a man, I have a fucking gun. It drives me up the wall. I mean, there's nothing else more I can say about it. I think I'm done talking about it now, but yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there. Thanks, guys, for watching for everything. There's gonna be regular videos in the future, and yeah, I do appreciate everyone that called and texted me today. And I know that I'm gonna get a few subscribers as well. That's gonna be happy that, you know, I'm saying I'm safe and hearing what my experience was, but I think that, you know, there's a very small percentage of the world that deals with this, and now I'm that small percent, and I never thought I would actually say that. So, yeah. I hope you all have a great night and a Merry Christmas. Um, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to sleep tonight. I mean, I'm pretty awake, but I have a huge headache right now, so I feel like it's just from my body being all tense all day, and then at least relaxing a little bit, and it's just the headache from just being so tense, and yeah, I'm kind of worried that I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight, but I don't know, really don't know. So I'm gonna say goodnight, guys. Merry Christmas.